Hello, welcome to part 2 of my Beginner's Guide series on how to speedrun Dark Souls. So we're looking at maces. Last time we managed to fight our way from things betwixt all the way through past Last Giant Pursuer, and then we ran around Lost Bastille to get some shards. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to load up our character. We're going to start off going through Huntsman's Copse and fight our way all the way through to Iron Keep. Let's load up our character, Bob, level 26, and he's 20 minutes in. So this is going to be the first slightly risky part of the run. So one thing to mention is that in 1.08 they have changed the poise of enemies like the Ruin Sentinels and Mytha, who were previously very easily stun locked. So now we're going to have to deal with the fact that they're not, and that's going to be quite difficult. So we'll start by using up all of our souls, and we've got an Estus shard we can use up as well. So in general, if you want to make the most of your time, you will pop all of your souls on lifts, but we're going to play a little bit cautiously, so we're going to pop them here before we level. So, now if you're doing a hardcore speedrun, you're going to want to put all your points into strength in order to do as much damage as possible, and maybe adaptability to get you rolling up. What we're going to do is we're going to put some points into Vigour, and we're going to try and get Vigour to about 18, which should be okay, and then we're going to get some points into Endurance, so we should be able to do 18, 10 and 20, I think. Do we get another level? Yeah, we've got one more level, so we'll put that into Adaptability, because we're going to want to get Adaptability up before we fight Mytha. So I'm going to go slightly heavier on Vigour to get more HP, and as you get more confident, you can start to put more points into your damage and less into stuff like HP, which will make you more resilient to taking damage. So that should give us 3 Estus Flasks. Cool. So the next thing we're going to do is we killed Lycia before, so we should have the Rotunda Lockstone. We strip our armour off, because the less equipped weight you have, the faster your stamina regenerates. Now, we're not going to need to do, so we've got our 2 maces, and we can power stance them by holding triangle on our PS3 controller, or Y on Xbox. But we're not going to power stance for this section, even though we've upgraded them, because we don't need to. Most of the guys in Huntsman's Copse we should be able to one-hit. Now in this area coming up, if you want to maximise your efficiency, you run as close to the edge as possible to minimise the distance that you have to run. I am not that confident. Like, if you watch Nubis do this, he is absolutely incredible, or Distortion. I tend to hug the wall a little bit because I'm a scaredy cat. So, the bonfire coming up here we don't need, so we're going to tag it because we're showing safety strats, but this is going to be one of the first big bonfires that you really won't have to tag. You only need this for a hex run or a magic run if you want to get the Hexer's Hood. This guy somehow always manages to hit me. So yeah, we're gonna do shield and single mace, and occasionally we're gonna double hand our mace when we need the extra damage. So the plan for this bit is we're gonna take on Skeleton Lords to clear Huntsman's, then Covetous, and then get to Iron Keep by killing Mytha. So we're gonna kill this guy with 1 hit. Then to get this guy to open the door, we run in front of the door and run back. So we can only one-hit those on counter. Good to know. Here, we just walk off the end, and then we tag this bonfire. You can choose to sit if you want. You can save a little bit of time by popping a life gem. We haven't used Estus, so we don't need to recharge our Estus Flasks. Running up here can slightly change the aggro on that guy occasionally. Like, I think I just do it because I enjoy the challenge, and it means less chance of getting hit by the fire guy. There's a dude here on the left. No matter what I do, I can never dodge his attacks. I don't know how that happened. Then we get in here. You want to instantly look up, lock on, double hand. Guy drops down. We kill him, and then we flip the switch. So we may get followed in here, we may not. normally you'll only get one guy come in like this, and then we just kind of chill out here until we need to run for the bridge. So that should probably be alright. Then we go out here, there's this guy here. There's the big sickle wielding guy who's followed us up, but he'll be too slow to catch us. Now this bit here can be a bit fiddly, so we're going to run through. You want to hug the left wall to dodge the first skeleton, stick tight to the corner and hug the left wall again to dodge the second skeleton. So left wall, left wall. Then we really need to kill this guy, and we'll take one arrow, but that's all we need to take. So the next arrow guy we should be able to dodge to the right of without too many problems. He will probably shoot another arrow at us now. Then we run under here. There's a guy above us that will drop down, but we keep running so we don't need to deal with him. And then we run straight past Merciless Rowena. And this gets us to the frog gate. So we shouldn't need to power stance our maces here, because almost everything is going to be a one-hit kill. If you want, you can run in behind this guy, so you can try and get the backstab if you want. I think that will mean you can drop him in one. Now what I normally do at this point is I just kind of kite these guys around a little bit to try and get them away from where the skeletons are going to spawn. Now we should be able to drop maybe two of them before we get hit by the fireball. Okay, so now we want to come away, use our life gems and get the other skeleton. Brilliant. So the next one we want to take out of the two is going to be the scythe-wielding melee skeleton lord, because the pyromancer is going to be the last one, and he is going to do the bone wheels, which are horrible. So yeah, we can one-hit these guys, and we can draw this guy out. Cool. Is that going to be? Oof! Right. Right, then we're going to put on our armour, and we need to kill the bone wheels. Brilliant! God, that's probably the smoothest it's ever gone. Unbelievable. Okay, so that's that done. Now we are going to activate the lift, so as we said before, the lift is the time for us to pop our souls, so we use this to pop the skeleton lord soul, and we're also going to take off our armour. Cool. Cool. So, the next bonfire coming up is one that you can skip. We're going to tag it because I want to show you all the safety strats, but you can skip it. This is definitely one of the other really skippable ones. We haven't used any Estus, so we don't actually need to sit at it. So you can do a little jump to get less covered in poison, but I mean, you're going to get covered in poison anyway. So, sitting at that would also remove your poison as well. Next, we're going to talk to Stone Trader Cloam. We want to rush through our dialogue, then we'll be on the buy option, so we go down to talk, and then we just keep going through until she repeats the same two lines. Perhaps we'll meet again.
I suppose it's about time I moved shop.
Now what we're going to try and do is roll, heal, and then we want to try and get this guy here. Now we do have one Divine Blessing, which we can use as well. But I don't think it's worth going to the menu. We need to get that torch to light the windmill, and we'll probably need one more life gem. Okay, so we're going to go up the ladder over here and manually do the switch. There is a skip that you can do. You can jump from here over to the right, but it's a really difficult skip, and I don't know if it's entirely worth it. Try to avoid backstabbing him because it's quick to one-shot him. Yeah, so the skip basically jumps over this boulder, you land over there and then you can run left. but the time save really isn't that great. So here's another bonfire that, if you're comfortable with Covetous, you could skip. We're going to use it and rest to recharge our Estus. So what we've started doing, which we didn't have to do in the previous video, is we got into the habit of taking off our armour when we're running around, so lower equip load gives us faster stamina regen, and then once you kill the boss you've got a little bit of time when you can put your armour on before you get the souls. Run in the doorway until he smashes the vases and then run through. Make sure you don't roll, otherwise you'll break the vases and get covered in poison. So now most people seem to think Covetous is crazy easy, and I swear every day there's a forum post talking about it. I find Covetous really hard because his hitboxes are crazy. You can be next to him and he just twitches and you get hit. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get to his elbow. So if we can get to his elbow, we can hopefully catch him in a series of attacks, and he might just end up flopping around a lot. Oh, that's nice. So hopefully what we'll do is if we stand here, he'll swing. Yeah, and he does this little flop. So we get that, and then we do the same again. Get a little bit of distance. Cool, and then come back in. Now we're a little bit slow. Oh, there we go. Now we'll normally do a second roll. Right, so then he flips around. Now an easier way to do this fight is to buy a rapier and upgrade, but we're going to do maces only, because it's a really good way to start speedrunning, and that way you can focus on learning the mace attacks, getting your maces upgraded, you'll do more damage, etc, etc. Okay. So for equipping your armour in time, basically go down to your armour, and if you've got nothing else in your inventory, you just double tap the activate button and it'll put the piece of armour on. Then go left, double tap, left, double tap, left, double tap, and that'll equip all your armour. So, we're going to go back to Earthen Peak, go back to Medulla and level. And the reason is that Earthen Peak is quite challenging and the RNG can be quite punishing, especially if you're trying to run it at speed. So we are going to start by putting levels into adaptability, because Myth is really hard to dodge. Then we're going to put points into Vigour to give us a bit more HP, and then we get 1 point in Strength, which is a shame. So I like to go 20 and 14 for Vitality or Vigour and Adaptability, and then put anything else I've got left into Strength. Right. If you want to, we've got the Covetous Demon Soul, which we could pop here. If you want to take the time to do that, you can. And that should give you an extra level or 2, which you can put into Strength. I'm going to do it without, just to save a bit of time. So we're going to de-equip all of this. Now there's 2 ways to do this next section. Let me drop this off as well. What we're going to try and do is run all the way past these guys. So there's 2 dudes there. Now we're going to get shot with an arrow from the right. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, so we need to dodge this guy. We're going to have to heal up. So we want to run round here and all the way over to the poison. This is going to suck. Now we get shot. Ooh, unbelievable. Okay, so that's how we do that. Incredible. So I don't think they'll come up and follow you. They've never done it for me. Now we need to light the bonfire, but not rest. Fantastic. Right. So we're going to light the torch that we picked up at the top of the slope, That's the first place we can quickly get a torch. Then we light the torch to burn the windmill to remove the poison in her room. Then I'm going to reset to recharge my Estus. Now, since they've changed the poison Mytha, this fight is a lot more challenging. There's black fire bombs which you can use if you want to. She's weak to fire. What we're going to do is we are going to go up here, dodge the pyromancers. We're not going to use Jester Thomas, although he is really good in this fight, and I'd recommend doing it if you have problems. If we die here, we're going to try and use Jester Thomas. So, walk up to these guys, then start to run, then roll. The one on the right will swing. For here, you run to the middle, and then dodge to the right, shield up. Then, get your mace out, dual wield, run to the fog gate, and then go through. Now for Mytha, we're going to do L1, L1, because our L2 isn't going to poise break her. The problem with Mytha is that she is super punishing of healing. Because she can attack so fast. We shouldn't have swung as we came up there. That was sloppy. So if we do L1, L1, we get this down and then up if we have the stamina for it. Okay. It's gonna go wrong. Okay. That was not beneficial. Okay, now we can heal again, and then we just have to finish her off. Fantastic. Right. Cool, so we equip our armour to get, I think it's 24.2% or something like that. Extra souls, and we go through here. Right, and because we're on a lift, we pop. Cool, so next thing we're going to do after this is we're not going to do the Iron Keep. If you were going for super record time, you would go and do the Iron Keep now. Iron Keep will unlock large shards from Cloan, which allows you to get both your maces up to +6. There's also 2 large shards in the furnace room. But instead, we're going to take a slightly easier route. We're going to go back to Majula level, buy the cat ring, and buy Homeward Bones and Alluring Skulls from the cat while we're there. Shalquoir. Then, we're going to go and do the Rotten, because the Rotten's pretty straightforward. And that will give us more levels before we need to take on the Iron Keep, and it gives us a Fragrant Branch, so we can get all the way to the Shaded Woods to get Clarity Ring +1. So Iron Keep is difficult because it can be super punishing. We're going to look at a few different ways to get through the Iron Keep. So let's first of all level this. So we need to leave ourselves about 19k in order to buy the cat ring and the skulls and any Homeward Bones we need. So we'll start by increasing our strength. So I would go for about 28 strength. And oh man, that's all we get. Okay. So we can get away with 17.4. So I'm probably going to do 6 and I think we'll do 21. So 26 is good damage. I think that'll be alright. And that gives us 17k left over. Cool. Okay, so cat ring's like 13.5. And then we can buy, you only really need about 5 Alluring Skulls, I would say. We're going to use the Alluring Skulls, well, actually you can get away with 3. So look. We're going to use them to get to the Shaded Woods by the door. So we buy a cat ring, then go here. So we've already got 2 Homeward Bones. I would say we probably want 6, and then we'll just buy all the Homeward Bones that we can.
I'll be around.
So then we are going to equip our cat ring, and we'll probably de-equip all our weapons, and then we're going to try and get to Rotten. So I'm going to finish this video here, and we'll do the Gutter and Rotten in the next one. Cool. Thanks very much.